We are now shipping recipe kits in lieu of the tap room being shut down, so we've got a little bit more time to work on some new projects. And although we're a small business, we don't have full automation of everything. I wanted to run down everything that we're doing to make sure that the recipe kits that we send out are as quality as possible for everyone that would, maybe want to buy one. First of all, we're sticking to our locally done, our hometown flagship, something like that. Our recipes that are tried and true that a lot of people know us for and like us for. And the first one is going to be a coffee kolsch, basically a light style beer that's sort of in that white stout range that is infused with coffee beans, so you get a big coffee flavor with no color change. And so it's got a kind of a cool dynamic there. We did do a video on our original recipe of this a while ago, but now it's in kit form. We can do this in extract or all grain. But without further ado, let's go ahead and run down building parts of the kit so that we can show you what we're doing to make sure that it is super duper when you buy it. Yeah. First and foremost, right after the crush, we're packaging these in thick plastic bags. That's going to prevent oxidation over time and make sure that your grains stay fresh longer, even surviving being shipped. I know the big boys do that too, but one thing that they don't do, or that you don't know if they do, is source their grains as fresh as possible and make sure they have fresh local grains. The next thing we do is we make sure that we're using the hops that we have that have the most recent batch that we can possibly get our hands on. So we're not doing old hops, we're doing new hops to make sure that all the ingredients are tasting fresh. Now for packaging, we obviously don't have like an automatic assembly line to get these down into the 1 ounce packages, or, in the case of this coffee kolsch, the 0.5 ounce packages. So we will be repackaging these in Mylar double lined bags, which we will be heat sealing after we give them a flush with nitrogen. So, and we'll be doing the same thing with the coffee too. Let's give you a rundown of us doing that real quick. Logan, can I borrow your handwriting?
Fine.
I mean, you could use mine, but it'd look like crap. So when it comes to the ingredients that we're fusing, just like with the hops and with the grains that we're trying to get to you as fresh as possible, we're also sourcing this supplementary ingredient, the coffee beans, as fresh as we possibly can. These are actually a fresh roasted coffee bean from Tom Sawyer, a local coffee company. So it's not something that's been, sitting around in a warehouse and shipping to different places. These are fresh, locally roasted coffee beans. And they taste phenomenal. We use them in pretty much all of our coffee infused beers, which we do a lot of.
There you go.
Sweet. So while Logan's writing their other two off screen for the hops, I'll go ahead and show you what it's going to look like packaging the coffee and making sure that we got everything nitrogen purged. Eventually we'll try to get better branding for the hops and anything we have to repackage, but for now that's how we build recipes in the shop, and so that's what we're doing for you. Okay, so let's go ahead and get the coffee packaged up and we can kind of show you what we're doing with the whole system that we got going on here. So get this guy open first. It smells really, really good. It's always good to get fresh roasted coffee because there's a huge difference in how it presents, both in the coffee itself and in your beer when you use it. Those oils, they come to the outside of the bean. They flavor your beer super, super well when you throw them in. In this recipe, it has these beans going in secondary, and the trick to it is adding these just a day before you go into package. So you don't want to let them sit too long. A day is plenty of time to get that full flavor infusion, and any longer than that, you can start to get like some vegetable-y kind of flavors, which aren't necessarily bad, they're just not exactly what you're looking for. Perfect. And you'd be surprised with coffee beans, it does not take a lot of them to get a really nice infusion in your beer. Drop the bean. All right, so that's the process of basically sealing those up. Purging the air out with the nitrogen is going to be super important to help them keep fresh when we're shipping them. And I'm also going to give these a heat seal to make sure that it's super, super airtight and nothing else can get in there. Let's go ahead and do the same with the hops. Pellet hops are fairly shelf stable, but if you can't keep them in the freezer, you can't keep them cold like we do here, this is always the best way to do it. So all we gotta do is give those a heat seal, and those should be nice and fresh. Last but not least, something that we're gonna do that's really important to your overall quality of the final product is we're gonna make sure that you have the best possible opportunity to have a good, healthy pitch of yeast. So in all the kits that we're doing, we're gonna be including this 1 liter yeast nutrient plus starter DME package to make sure that if you're not already planning on doing a starter, you have everything available to you to make sure that you get these yeasts active and ready to go before adding them into your beer. If you don't have a 2-liter flask, no big deal. Grab a growler that you have at home, give it a super deep clean, and give it a Star San sanitize, and then go ahead and make your liter of starter, pitch your yeast in that a day before, and then you'll have a better, healthier yeast pitch going into your beer when you do your brew day. Yeah. And that's everything we do to make it the best beer ever. Kits. Is that good? Yes. So you know how when you're, whenever you're writing on poster board, you do that whole thing where you start out really, really big because you're super excited about what you're writing.
Wow, I can't spell.
And then you get to the end of the poster board and you have to make your letters really, really tiny. That just happened. It's got a beaver. Castor Muncher, guys. Castor Muncher.